Welcome, financial enthusiasts and wisdom seekers. Today, we embark on a journey through the profound wisdom of Psalm 37, verses 21 and 22. These verses paint a vivid contrast between two types of people: the wicked who borrow and do not repay, and the righteous who are generous in their giving. This ancient wisdom holds a mirror to our contemporary financial practices, highlighting the profound impact of debt and generosity on our lives. While the wicked, mired in the quicksand of unpaid debts, struggle, the righteous, with their open-handed generosity, find themselves in a place of abundance. These principles are not just about money, they are about character, about the kind of people we choose to be. They challenge us to examine our financial habits, our attitudes towards debt and giving, and the implications of these choices. As we delve into the world of finances, let's keep these principles in mind. The wicked borrow and do not repay. But what are the consequences of such behavior? This ancient wisdom from Psalm 37 presents a timeless truth that remains as relevant today as it was thousands of years ago. Let's delve into this concept of wicked borrowing, a term that might seem somewhat archaic in our modern financial landscape, but essentially refers to irresponsible borrowing. What happens when someone borrows but does not repay? The immediate consequence is, of course, financial. Unpaid debts accrue interest, and before long, the initial amount borrowed can spiral into a financial nightmare that is far more significant. The borrower can find themselves sinking deeper into a pit of debt, a pit that is often incredibly difficult to climb out of. But the impact of wicked borrowing extends beyond the financial. It also affects the borrower's character and reputation. In failing to repay a debt, a person breaks a promise. They betray the trust that was placed in them by the lender, and this can have serious implications. It can damage relationships, lead to legal troubles, and even affect a person's sense of self-worth. In a world where credit cards and loans are just a click away, it's easy to fall into the trap of wicked borrowing. It's tempting to buy now and pay later, to live beyond our means and to ignore the financial consequences of our actions. But as Psalm 37 reminds us, there are consequences to this kind of behavior. Therefore, it's crucial to appreciate the importance of responsible borrowing. Borrowing in itself is not a bad thing. In fact, it can be a helpful tool when used wisely. It can help us to invest in our future, to buy a home, or to start a business. But it must be done responsibly, with a clear plan for repayment. In conclusion, the wicked may borrow and not repay, but they do so at their peril. They risk financial ruin, damaged relationships, and a tarnished reputation. On the other hand, those who borrow responsibly, who honor their commitments, and who repay their debts demonstrate integrity and wisdom. Debt is not inherently evil, but the refusal to repay it can lead to dire consequences. On the other hand, the righteous give generously. This statement isn't just about the act of giving, but it's an endorsement of a lifestyle that revolves around generosity. It's about the righteous, those who make it a habit, a practice, a way of life to give and give generously. But why is this important? Why should we value generosity, especially in a world that often seems to reward those who hoard and accumulate? Let's dig a little deeper. The act of giving generously doesn't just affect the receiver, but it also has a profound impact on the giver. When we give, we are reflecting a character of abundance, not scarcity. We are demonstrating faith that there is enough for everyone and that we are confident in our ability to create, earn, and share. We are, in essence, living out the principle of abundance. Generosity also has a way of breaking the chains of fear and worry that often surround our finances. When we give, we are stepping out in faith, trusting that our needs will be met, even as we meet the needs of others. This can lead to a sense of fulfillment and contentment that is far beyond what mere accumulation can bring. But there's more to it. The blessings that come with righteous generosity aren't limited to a sense of well-being or fulfillment. There are practical, tangible benefits as well. Studies have shown that those who give generously often enjoy better health, longer life, lower stress levels, and even financial prosperity. It's important to remember that generosity isn't necessarily about how much you give, but rather how you give. It's about giving willingly, cheerfully, without grudging or feeling obliged. It's about making a difference in the lives of others and in the process, enriching your own life. So, in the face of financial challenges, or even when considering our financial strategies and decisions, let's remember the blessings of righteous generosity. Let's remember that giving is not just an action, but a reflection of character, a demonstration of faith, and a pathway to blessings. Generosity is more than just giving, it's a lifestyle that brings blessings. The Lord blesses the righteous, and the wicked face destruction. This is a profound promise that underscores the essence of our financial discourse today. The righteous, those who give generously and responsibly manage their resources, are not only blessed in a spiritual sense, but often these blessings manifest in the physical realm as well. Financial decisions rooted in righteousness can lead to prosperity, stability, and peace of mind. Take the story of Mr. Thompson, for instance, a man who, despite his modest income, always made it a point to give generously to his community. He was never extravagant, but he managed his resources wisely. Over time, his prudent financial decisions combined with his generous spirit led to a comfortable retirement. His giving didn't deplete his resources, but rather seemed to multiply them. On the other hand, let's consider the tale of Mr. Davis. He was a borrower, and not just any borrower, but one who did not repay his debts. His financial decisions were not rooted in righteousness, and thus he faced the consequences. He found himself drowning in debt, struggling with mental stress, and facing legal repercussions. His life is a stark example of the destruction that can result from irresponsible financial decisions. These are not isolated instances, but rather reflections of a broader pattern. They demonstrate how our financial decisions, whether rooted in righteousness or wickedness, have real-world implications. Generosity and responsible borrowing are not just about money. They are about character, about values, about the kind of people we choose to be. They reflect our understanding and application of biblical principles in our day-to-day lives. The blessings that come from righteous financial decisions are not always immediate or quantifiable, but they are real and meaningful. We see then that our financial decisions can bring blessings or consequences depending on their alignment with righteousness. The choice, as always, is ours to make. Those who the Lord blesses will inherit the land. This is a profound statement that has significant implications for our financial journey and overall life. It's not just about acquiring physical land or property, but it's about the legacy we leave behind, the impact we make, and the wealth we build. Financial stewardship is closely connected to this concept of inheritance. Stewardship is about responsibly managing our resources, including our finances. It's about making wise decisions today that will affect our tomorrow. And as we've seen, righteous living plays a crucial role in this process. So, how do these principles relate to our personal finance decisions? Let's consider this. When we borrow responsibly, give generously, and live righteously, we set ourselves up for a blessed inheritance. This is not just about financial wealth, but about a rich legacy that can be passed down to future generations. We also create a positive cycle where our righteous living and financial stewardship influence each other. Our financial decisions reflect our character, and in turn, our character shapes our financial decisions. This cycle continues, leading us towards a life of righteousness, blessed by the Lord. And remember, this inheritance is not just about the here and now. It's about the long-term impact of our lives. It's about shaping a future that reflects the values we hold dear. So, let's strive for righteous living and wise financial stewardship. After all, righteous living and financial stewardship open the door to a blessed inheritance. How then do we apply these principles to our finances today? Let's start by acknowledging the importance of responsible borrowing. It's not just about avoiding debt, but about honoring commitments, maintaining integrity, and fostering trust. It's about understanding that each loan taken is a promise to repay, a promise that we ought to keep. And then there's generosity. The benefits of giving are manifold, from fostering gratitude and happiness to creating a ripple effect of kindness in our communities. Generosity is not merely an act, but a mindset that can transform our financial and personal lives. So, how can we put this into practice? Start small, perhaps by setting aside a portion of your income for charitable causes. Be proactive in managing your debts, prioritizing repayments, and avoiding unnecessary borrowing. Seek financial advice if needed to ensure you're on a sustainable path. By applying these principles, we can navigate our financial journey with wisdom and righteousness. As we conclude our exploration of Psalm 37, 21, 22, let's remember the contrasting paths before us: the wicked who borrow and do not repay, and the righteous who give generously. We've seen how these ancient principles hold true today, impacting our personal finances, our character, and our blessings. Reflect on your financial practices. Are they rooted in righteousness or in recklessness? Remember, the righteous give generously, and the wicked borrow without repaying. Which path will you choose?